Congratulations, white people in this room. You have the honor and joy of being extremely privileged. Now, before I go any further, let me explain. First off, white privilege doesn't mean that certain white people haven't experienced any kind of suffering in your life. And white privilege doesn't deny the fact that individuals have had hardships. Second, when I refer to racism, I'm not referring to prejudice. Prejudice is an irrational feeling of dislike for someone or a group of people. Prejudices are usually built on stereotypes and are a feeling or a belief, not necessarily an action. When I refer to racism, I'm not referring to discrimination. Discrimination is a person taking action on their feelings of prejudice. Discrimination can happen between any people of any race, white on black, black on white. This is not racism. When I refer to racism, I'm referring to institutionalized racism. That is not one single person discriminating, but the entire population operating in a social structure that makes it easier for a person to discriminate, and even difficult to avoid discriminating. Okay, that being said, let's dive in. White privilege is the set of societal advantages and opportunities that white people, or people that are deemed white, enjoy. Now, social structure in America, due to the course of history, is unequivocally in favor of white people. White people, have you ever found it difficult to find people of your race represented in the media, represented in popular culture, or represented anywhere you look? No, right? In an institutionally racist society, you are surrounded with and bombarded by images of people who are in most respects like you. People of color do not have that luxury. That's why many children that belong to minorities grow up feeling inadequate, trying to become more white, and associate their culture with negative things. Now let's take a look at racial profiling. There's a program being run by the New York Police Department called Stop and Frisk. This program involves hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers being stopped, questioned, and frisked for contraband every year on the street. According to the New York Times, in 2002, when Mr. Kelly took office, officers stopped 97,296 New Yorkers, and the city reported 587 homicides. Last year, those numbers were 685,724 and 532 homicides. Now, that's a lot of people, wouldn't you say? 685,724. Now get this, 84% of those stopped were either black or Latino. According to the New York Civil Liberties Union, the number of black youth stopped by the police in 2011 was higher than the number of black youth that live in New York City. Let that sink in for a second. That means that either some people were being stopped more than once, or people were being stopped that are not actually residents of New York City. And 9 out of 10 that were stopped were not arrested or given summonses. Not to say that no white people were stopped, but the numbers indicate that white people had substantially less reason to fear potentially being stopped and frisked, and even brutalized by police unnecessarily. White privilege is never having to worry about being racially profiled by police officers. White privilege is not having to deal with being incessantly categorized by your race, or having people ask you your opinion as though somehow you speak for your entire race. It's being this guy I have a class with rather than this Chinese guy that I have a class with. It's being able to go through life without ever having the citizenship status of your parents questioned. White privilege is being able to be smart, dumb, loud, quiet, lazy, or hardworking without people thinking that you're breaking or fitting into a minority stereotype. White privilege is never having to know that you have it a lot better than other people's do. It's the ability to be completely ignorant about the fact that you're given preferential treatment in society, just as I was. If we feel discriminated against, we can simply leave. We're not required to listen to something that makes us uncomfortable. When our privilege is brought up, which can be unsettling and sometimes angering, we have the option of simply withdrawing and returning to business as usual, which is yet another luxury people of color cannot afford. When being talked to in a way that makes them uncomfortable, they can't leave and go back to business as usual, because in many cases, that is business as usual. White privilege is being patted on the back for being brave enough to talk about racism, while others are called self-serving, oversensitive, and told to get over it. White privilege. It is out there, it is in here, and being aware of it is the first step to being less selfish and more empathetic toward other people.